Welcome to class. In continuation with the discussions on founding fathers and pioneers in the field of social linguistics, today we will talk about Ellen Grimshaw, who is primarily a renowned sociologist and a very eminent sociolinguist as well. He is known for his theories in racial violence and society, and we will have a brief description about his interest, works, and contributions apart from sociology into social linguistics as a discipline. Ellen D Grimshaw, this is how his, his full name is, called Ellen Grimshaw, was born on December 16th, 1929 and died on June 15, 2011. His early research, including his PhD work, focused on race, relations and violence in United States. And onwards he wrote prolifically on the issue, and he contributed major insights into the problem. His most influential work during this period was his volume Racial Violence in the United States. His other major area of interest was social linguistics, and his most significant contribution to sociology in the theory of construction and empirical research in two areas are conflict and violence and the general area of social linguistics. And he worked authoritatively in both the areas, conflict and violence and social linguistics. In the later part of his career, Grimshaw successfully integrated these two areas of studies in the discourse of international negotiations on the macro level and of conflict talk, social linguistic investigations of argument in conversations at micro level. The journey of Grimshaw as a student, as a researcher, as an authority on conflict and violence and social linguistics is commendable. He attended Purdue University from 1946 to 1948, where he majored in engineering before switching to the University of Missouri in 1948, and he remained there till 1952, where he received his BA in anthropology and sociology and his MA in sociology. He went to University of Pennsylvania, where he obtained his PhD degree in sociology in 1954, from 1954 to 1959. Grimshaw joined the Indiana University Department of Sociology in 1959, where he remained until his retirement in 1994. A gifted teacher and a scholar, a prolific writer, Grimshaw published 8 books and more than 100 scholarly articles, which gave a deep insight in understanding conflict and violence from sociological perspective and issues in social linguistics and understanding language in action in social linguistics. He was named as Lilly Foundation Teaching Fellow in 1983. He chaired numerous committees on American Sociological Association and served as editor of the American Sociologist and as an associate editor of the American Sociological Review and Sociometry. His most notable contribution in the field came in from the multiple analysis project MAP, that is called, in short we call it MAP, which was the first social linguistics study to bring together representatives of different professions to investigate the same data record of a particular speech event. And this very innovative project, multiple analysis project, produced two very interesting and influential books. Number one, Collegial Discourse, Professional Conversation Among Press, and What's Going On Here, Complementary Studies of Professional Talk. Grimshaw combined his interest in social conflict and social linguistics and conducted series of analysis of international negotiations between the Soviet Union and the United States. His most notable research initiatives in this area were the Generals and Admirals International Negotiations, also acronymed as GAIN, GAIN, and RLC projects, as well as his edited volume Conflict Talk. In 1966, Directions for Research in Social Linguistics, Suggestions of a Non-Linguist Sociologist was published in Sociological Inquiry, and that gave a fresh perspective, a new perspective to the discipline, and also it became a milestone for people already working in the discipline like Fishman, Delhams and other people. In 1973, on Language in Society Part 1, Contemporary Sociology, it was published in Contemporary Sociology, and Rules in Linguistics, Social and Social Linguistic Systems and Possibilities for a Unified Theory. He was trying to, so there was a debate in that decade where sociology of language, language and society, language in society and social linguistics, these were the frameworks under which people were working, and we understand Fishman's idea and Ferguson's idea, sociology, social linguistics versus sociology of language. So such contributions by Grimshaw as a sociologist who was interested in linguistics and combined his experiences and knowledge of two domains into one gave a fresh perspective to look at language in this framework. And if you go by the account of Bernard Spolsky on Grimshaw, this becomes very clear that how he curated a fertile ground for the discipline to evolve what we see it today. I quote from the article by Bernard Spolsky in the Sage Handbook of Social Linguistics, titled Ferguson and Fishman, Social Linguistics and Sociology of Language. Bernard Spolsky writes, I quote, "There was another sociologist who must have provided Fishman with more support. He refers to Ellen Grimshaw, as in a special category by himself, not a member of the seminar but attending it regularly." He is referring to the social linguistic consortium and seminar that the social linguists conducted during 60s. I quote again, Grimshaw, 1997, says that his initiation to language science was through Savage. Grimshaw had become interested in language and social context during a visit to India in 1961. By the way, Grimshaw has a very long connection with India, and he stayed in India for a longer period of time, and he conducted many works and many sociological and social linguistic works. He writes, I was an informal participant in many of the activities of the seminar and gave a talk to the group about ways in which knowledge about language might eliminate sociological questions. It was not long before I became more closely involved. This involvement included membership and later chairmanship of the Committee on Social Linguistics, organization of a conference, and publication of a number of papers that were later collected by Anwar Dil. Grimshaw's contribution in linguistics is that he brought two domains together and he worked on the interface of sociology and linguistics. He added his experience of understanding sociological processes of conflict and violence into linguistic expressions, and the confluence of the two disciplines gave a fresh framework, a new framework to the people, to the group which was already working in the area. And the people were like, Dullheims, Gumpers, Fushman, Joshua Fishman, Charles Ferguson, Suzanne Irwin Tripp, and so many other people who pioneered this discipline. And addition of Grimshaw to the fold was an act of broadening the horizons of the discipline, including and this whole dichotomy of language in society and sociology of language and social linguistics worked out. And what we see today as a discipline, social linguistics as a discipline, we cannot undermine and underrate and overstate the contributions of Grimshaw in development of the discipline. This is it for now. We'll continue with our series of discussions on such other luminaries and scholars who shaped the discipline. So this is it for now. See you in the next class. Thank you.